All right, here we go, guys. Game 1 of the semifinals between Team For the Win, the green team in the upper left, ProProProPro and Happy Death, still going with the Neo Saucer combination. Interesting. Okay.
And the other combatants, in the bottom right corner, you have the blue team with Stuart98 and Overkill2142. These are the Council Haxxors. Both of these players are in the AirMech Council, so they decide what the game balance should be. So they should know the mechanics pretty well. It will be interesting to see how they fare.
And from experience, all decisions are 100% selfish.
Happy Death coming in here, just dropping a single tango and shooting the fort.
And it's
what is he trying to accomplish here?
That's a
He's
great
building
question.
a lot more tangos at home. He could just be trying to prevent a scout, or just giving ProPro time to neutralize that mid on his own.
But one thing to mention that we did not at the beginning is this map is a Chasm rework by yours truly, called ChasmXF. There are 2 mids, and both green players are giving a lot of trouble to the blue team right now.
One of the most notable differences here is that there is a land path through the middle. That has always been one of my biggest pet peeves about Chasm.
Yes, that there's no, The bridges are always so bottlenecky, and it does look like Happy Death is deciding to go out with these tangos. Where is he going with them? I think he's just setting them to T. So they're going for this. Oh no, what is happening?
He's trying to go top right. He's already...
He's command mode. Okay. He's trying to get them to go over there. He hasn't drawn a path, has he?
Ooh. Overkill getting taken down. So he's just command moding them out, just using the tangos to just to intimidate.
Right. Oh, okay, and Stuart and Overkill have a pretty sizable force at that top right outpost, and now it does look like Happy Death and ProProProPro are going for the second mid, the upper right mid, I believe.
Overkill does not seem to have a lot of interest in pushing his units in the top right. He's set up some heavy mines. He's kind of shy about those tangos now that Happy Death has shown them.
Yeah, it's well, I mean, and if Happy Death pushes them in a clump, the first couple of tangos will go over. Oh, and Stuart using that loop, but not able to get away from ProProProPro right there. Very
just trying to get a snipe on. Takes out one tank, but in the meantime stays just a little bit too late and ends up going down.
And right there, Overkill able to snipe a couple of extra tanks at the top right mid, but ProProProPro and Happy Death right back in it, reinforcing that area. And Blue has not started on their top right side, actually, the top right mid.
Stuart having a really bad time. He keeps trying to drop down and snipe some units, but then he gets spotted, and it's either Death Ray or Stasis whenever he drops down to try to snipe, so he just gets shut down.
ProPro and Happy Death not able to get that focus fire on Overkill and get the finish, and now Overkill is actually starting on the bottom fight, the top right mid fight as well.
Both these green players just overcome with a bloodlust. Every time there is a single lone blue player around, they bum rush them together.
And every once in a while it works. For example, Stuart has been killed, I think, twice. Let's see, once actually. A couple of
Happy Death just microing this one tank at the fort, still putting damage in, but both blue players have left the area.
I'm not really sure why. That's
he's just hanging out. If you're not going to deal with me, I'm going to keep doing damage.
And he even just left the Longhorn there, waiting for the blue team to actually react to this. And the green team has actually taken that top right mid and fared a few units over, probably a little too early, as the blue team was able to respond immediately, and ProPro pulling his units back to the other side of the chasm.
But the mech response is excellent. They're going to be able to harass all of these tanks practically down to 0 with just themselves. There are no repair units and no outposts nearby to ferry to.
Tons of tanks sitting at that top outpost for green team. Stuart finally reacting and killing that Longhorn at the fort. But right now they're at 2/3 health, and yeah, very dangerous. Happy Death getting finished off. Did not realize that Stuart was going to be there to snipe him.
Overkill trying to do some fort harass, getting spotted by ProPro, and cloaks to try to avoid him, but ProPro, with the predicting where he is, just too good, just sucks all of that energy dry and kills Overkill before he can get any damage in. Stuart once again with the landing to snipe and getting shut down by the mechs.
Both mechs this time.
Every time his feet touch the ground, there is a Saucer and a Neo there just waiting.
Yeah, and that time it did work, and he was killed.
happydeath has managed to take out almost all of these tanks at that top right mid.
No one grabbing control of any of the mids yet.
So it's just a matter of ferrying now for Green to take solid control of this outpost.
Well, there's still a fair number of units for the blue team, but you know, with the teamwork that the green team is able to utilize, they're so in sync that they might be able to, even with a good army. And now they are starting to ferry. happydeath with the stasis. ProPro not dropping the debuff. Who will come out on top? Stuart with the sniping and Overkill with the stasis as well. happydeath getting finished by the Flacker, and I think the blue team
actually taking a sniper shot from Stuart and the Flacker finishing him
off. And Overkill able to follow ProPro, and this is actually really, really bad for the green team. Overkill and Stuart.
Team wipe. Overkill and Stuart can monopolize on this, capture the post, ferry forward, and lock half of mid down.
And they have not decided to do that, though. They are now going back to that top right post. They have not decided to press this advantage at this outpost. Very weird.
They seem to be really distracted wanting to deal with that green push across the top bridge, but I think they're overestimating the threat that it poses them.
I mean, it has a long travel distance, and it's mostly tangos. The green team has actually brought a lot of units back to this top right mid. Lots of brutes. This will go down neutral very quickly. Yeah. But the green team, that push over the bridge is getting kind of massacred. However, the green team with a lot of support, and the blue team now is forced to pull back. Wow.
Stuart going ahead and sending out all of the units from the top right, hoping just to do something with them.
Guessing he set those on T. They are going down. Yeah. Let's see.
He's probably either got a V path or no, he hasn't got a V path. He command moded these or set them on T to go to middle.
And they're coming in very slowly.
They're streaming single file into the double mech fire with the upgraded death ray as well. This is just going to be a wipeout, further bolstering happydeath and ProPro's lead.
But I do think that Overkill did make the right decision going straight for the outpost. It does not allow the green team to further reinforce their outpost. And actually, ProPro getting caught by a sniper shot and forced to lift off and get away there. Now Stuart and Overkill are here to freely, pick off units without mech support for a good amount of time.
Stuart running out of energy, can't do the loop, so may get caught right here. If happydeath swoops in, Stuart will not make it out of here.
Waiting for ProPro to get away, and then he really needs to transform now. There you go. He is able to get there, and the loop allowing him to recharge without getting focus fired over his outpost. Great play. But they still lost that
Overkill
outpost.
cranking out bot spawners, trying to load up the fort now, and also auto-deploying SAMs out of that bottom center post. They're just trying desperately to put some damage into this top right outpost again, but getting caught on the perpendicular by the neutral gaddies at mid that are just killing all of these SAMs as they stream in.
And did not react quite that fast to this drop attack by the green team. Again, a simultaneous drop by happydeath and ProProProPro, neutralizing that top right outpost, and still have not done anything with their huge army at the lower left mid.
Stuart also getting taken out, trying to do some harass on these units on the left side of mid, but just not being able to overcome them. Meanwhile, happydeath taking out mostly repair units is what he's aiming for. Doesn't really care about the tanks.
Oh man, they are going for that other unit clump of blue team, and blue team has no idea this is happening yet. There you go. Now Overkill does see that it is happening, and what will he decide to do about it? He's really low on health, forced to take cover in his own units.
He's unable to micro around here to respond, so he's going to end up pinned on both sides. ProPro taking the post and starting to ferry over with the units coming over from the right side, have these blue units sandwiched. Overkill making great use of that command mode like he tends to do, going straight to the right, away from the post, trying to reposition so that he can divide and conquer, so to speak.
But this Death Ray is doing a lot of work, plus all the green team units that were ferried over. Happy Death with the Stasis Blast, and it does look like the blue team will probably eventually lose this. The green team still has control of that outpost. Overkill and Stuart firing in. Overkill real low on health, getting finished off there. And Stuart with just this Goliath. It's 46 to 52, actually in favor of the blue team. Where the hell is all their upkeep?
Mostly in Goliaths. So they have 2 Goliaths on the top right. They have another couple Goliaths down on the bottom right, another couple Goliaths down in the bottom center. Green team moving into the bottom here. Something interesting about that last engagement, Stuart lost 5 or 6 of those sniper shots to creeps, just showing the value of bot spawners and tangos versus an angel player.
And getting finished off one more time, the blue team losing this bottom right outpost. It is pretty, there are Goliaths over here. Oh, Happy Death getting another kill on Overkill. Missed that one too.
Overkill cloaked, trying to get away, but just gets taken out by that spray fire from Happy Death.
And more units getting finished off by the green team. It's not looking that
working
great.
That Death Ray, working it hard.
Death Ray is extremely strong. You have the mobility of the Saucer, plus basically the power of the Warthog, and as long as you utilize it properly, you know how to aim it, it can be really, really devastating.
Ooh. ProPro able to butt spawn creeps. The blue team's going to have a hard time holding on to this outpost.
I really don't think they will.
Overkill getting tagged so many times.
Yes, and Stuart might even get double teamed and finished off here too. No, he does get away there. Very, very smart play, or at least very, very good decision instead of just doing what he's been doing this whole game and just trying to snipe what he can and then getting killed on the way out.
It's not his fault everyone wants him dead in this match.
Everyone but his teammate, I think.
Yeah, Overkill probably likes him.
Himself probably included, judging by the way he's been behaving, I think. ProProProPro with that Death Ray. And see, Death Ray, high damage output like the sniper rifle, but able to switch targets very, very quickly on the fly. And
also able to lift off immediately.
Right.
There is no cooldown for a Death Ray to stop.
Stuart,
Overkill trying to cloak away, but just, barely makes it back to his post.
While being dominated, of course.
While being dominated.
Well, in 13 seconds. Stuart trying...
Sniping at point blank, danger close. He's got the Blade Guardians as well, so that's part of the reason he's standing so close, is so that his Guardians actually do something. Overkill getting taken down again. Surprise stasis from Happy Death.
But ProProProPro with tons of units over here at the top right outpost. They will take it back one more time, and it's not looking good for the blue team at all.
Stuart gets caught sniping again, stasis, and executed with the Death Ray. Just unable to get away. That Neo is so effective versus Angel. And then combined with all the trash units and creeps.
Blue team trying one last-ditch effort to push some Goliaths into the bottom outposts of the green team, but the green team pushing into a couple of tangos and random grinders here to the fort and creating a tango wall here at the bottom outpost. Happy Death and ProPro distracting this Goliath fire, and ProPro firing with the Death Ray. It's pretty hopeless to make a comeback, I would say, at this point.
They're just going with the sheer numbers spam at this point. They're pumping out tangos, sergeants, creeps from the bot spawners, just anything that is a unit. If it is here, it is something they want.
Yeah, it is a complete mess on the field right now. It does look like Stuart's doing a quick flyby. Oh, an overkill. Okay, so they neutralized that top outpost with a couple of creeps here.
And captured it.
Captured it, not going to stay that way.
To respond, so it's going to go down pretty quick. There's no way they can hold on to this post. Stuart going to get taken down again.
Will he? Will he? Does he have a loop still? Oh my gosh, he got all the way back to the floor.
Happy Death opting, rather than to pursue Stuart, he was just going to hang out. So just standing around at his top post decides that Stuart is not worth his time.
But Stuart definitely will
Stuart
get
landing
killed
the
this time.
snipe again, getting stasis, and taking
Boom!
out.
Ah, man. Okay, I'm sorry.
No sniping for you this whole game. That
Yeah.
stasis, there's just too much mech attention. Every time he lands, they see him, and they just go straight for him.
Well, one of the things is he was trying to pick off units. He went to the the enemy units to try to pick them off, and allowed happydeath and ProPro to really scout it. Usually, the Angel is much more powerful in a standoffish fight where there's two sets of units, and the difference in range between tank range and Angel range is where you sit.
You've got boomers getting commanded by sergeants. I think this is what you would call a death squad.
I feel like everything made since 5 minutes ago from the green team is pretty much a death squad, because they might have been able to get the death kill on the blue fort the entire time, and there you go. Blue team going down, green team taking the win for the win, getting the win. I'm being redundant.
Such ruthless efficiency.
Yeah, I mean, this was very, very good. I mean, compared to For the Win's last opponents, Stuart and Overkill held out very, very well. The beginning of the game, well, I guess because of the nature of these map split, they were able to keep them at bay. There were a couple of weird decisions by the blue team, namely not trying to capitalize on the unit advantage at that bottom left, and the strange pushes, I think. And then the green team, and then when the green team pushed that top right mid, and the blue team did not, they won that fight, but they did not capitalize on, that.
Yeah, they could have
outpost.
taken that middle post and evened up the game pretty quickly. And blue did have a lot of good situations where they made excellent use of command mode and repositioning their units for something that would have been quite the unfavorable engagement and evening it out.
Yeah, but just a lot of the windows of opportunity that they had, I guess they just didn't either realize it or just decided not to take them in favor of playing it safe. But either way, it was a great game. I believe we are going to get into the first game of the next round of the semifinals, which is Smelly Sandals versus Arc Bracket J. Stay tuned.